Hey y'all, today I'm going to show you how I prepare some chicken drumsticks, a little chicken leg for a dinner. Now guys, I got these for 50% off, organic, air chilled, so y'all know I was going to snatch them up and cook up something really good. Is it just me, or is chicken leg that piece of chicken that you pretty much always got as a kid? You know, you go to the dinner table and dad's gonna get the chicken breast and mama, she'd be stealing the wings and sometimes the thigh. And then, you know, as a kid, you get left with that little chicken leg. You know what I'm saying? So chicken legs always make me think of my childhood because, you know, you could get that pretty much every time at the dinner table. So I am going to just wash my chicken. I don't want to hear it. If you don't want to watch, don't do it, baby. Okay. Just make sure you watch the sink if you do decide to do it. And then I am going to dry it off well so that my spices stick. In my last video, I showed you guys how I made my green seasoning blend. I will link that below. I am going to add a few tablespoons of this blend. This has fresh herbs and spices. And I'm also going to add about half of a tablespoon of chicken bouillon powder and a little bit of curry powder. This is not a curried chicken, but the flavor tastes good. Okay, just trust me. Just trust me. I'm going to add a touch of cumin, not too much, because I don't like too much earthiness. I'm also going to do some pepper, some smoked paprika, as well as some sazon tropical. Yes, I love this stuff, okay? This is like a complete seasoning. If you don't have that, just use garlic powder, onion powder, and salt. That is fine. You can actually season this chicken any way that you want. I don't want you not having a certain spice prohibit you from making this dish, okay? So then I'm just going to add a bit of salt to my own taste. I'm going to set this to the side and let this come to room temperature while the oven preheats to 375 degrees. I'm also going to do a few vegetables with this. I love to add a little carrot, some potatoes to just roast while the chicken is roasting. It adds a lot of flavor and it's like an instant side dish that you really didn't have to do that much more work for. To boost the flavor of those pan drippings, I will always dice up half of an onion. Now y'all, I know some of y'all would tell me that once the potatoes start getting eyes or it start looking like it's a little green, you shouldn't eat it. Baby, in this economy, we eating it. Okay, I'm taking off those eyes and I'm cutting off anything that don't look right. And I'm going to cut these baby potatoes in half and we're going to eat it. Okay. Now I got Sister Mabel heating up on a medium heat, and then I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil and butter. The butter got the flavor, baby. Okay, she got to be in there. And then I'm going to brown that chicken. Baby, if you don't brown that chicken, the flavor not going to be what you think it's going to be. You got to get some color on it. You got to let those spices bloom in the oil. And so I am going to let it cook on each side for just about 3, maximum 4 minutes. You are not going to have fully cooked chicken at this point. So don't try to get greedy and act like you're going to bite something. You're getting salmonella. Okay, so just brown it. And then you're going to take it out of the skillet and place it to the side. All of those drippings that are left are flavor. Honey, those fond bits have browned, and it is going to add a great flavor to those vegetables. I know you didn't think we weren't going to not brown those vegetables and season them too, because we definitely are. So I'm going to add the onion, the potato, and the carrot all in at one time. I'm also going to add a little bit of extra green seasoning, just about a tablespoon or so, as well as some garlic. And I am going to toast that a bit in the bottom of the skillet and then mix it all together. If you don't have this blend, then you can add maybe a little bit of rosemary or thyme, and that will be fine. I'm also going to add a few allspice berries. If you have pre-ground allspice, you can just add like a pinch over all the vegetables, because allspice is kind of strong. You really just want it to marry with the other flavors. So I'm going to cook these vegetables with a pinch of salt for about 7 minutes. I want a good amount of time for those onions to get a little bit of color. I'm going to put a little bit more of that Sazon tropical. Again, if you don't have this, just some salt, pepper, garlic, and onion powder is totally fine. I'm going to add that and allow that to cook for another minute or so. At the end of this, it is time to cut off the stovetop and then add your chicken back. Spread the chicken out evenly so that there is space around the chicken so that it can brown well. Now, I don't want to leave any of the seasonings in the pan where I season that chicken. So I am adding about a half of a cup of water. I just wrung it around the pan and I added it to the bottom of my skillet. This is actually going to help create a little bit of a gravy, one might say, with the pan drippings from that chicken. So I am going to add the chicken in this 375-degree oven for 45 minutes. I don't flip it. I don't check on it. I don't open the dough. Honey, just leave it in there for 45 minutes. I like to add a bit of a sauce to the top of the chicken just to add a little bit of color, additional flavor. This is optional. This is not barbecue chicken, honey. Okay, just a little bit of ketchup, a little soy sauce, honey. What y'all know about piccapepper sauce? Okay, if you go to your Hispanic market, you will find this. This adds a raisiny clove flavor. If you don't have this, you could add a little bit of A1 sauce or just a touch of that Worcestershire, Worcestershire sauce. You could add a little bit of that too. Okay. Now, after 45 minutes, I am going to take out the chicken. And really, if you didn't want to have the sauce, you could stop right here because the flavors are popping. The food is delicious. But I just want to take it to the next level for you. Okay, so the sauce is going to add that color. So I am going to just baste my chicken with a little bit of the drippings and then add the sauce directly on each piece of chicken first. Any that I have left over, I will just lightly drizzle over the vegetables. But you'll see it's really not a ton of sauce. And I meant for it to be that way. I really just want this to be a little bit of a flavor kick. Now, if you guys are enjoying this recipe, please go ahead and give your girl a like and subscribe. And let me know in the comments what your favorite drumsticks recipe is. After just 5 more minutes in the oven, you will see the color is there. It smells delicious. The chicken is juicy. Baby, what more could you ask for? Now, I am going to add a side dish with this. I'm going to do some mixed greens from my garden. So I have some delicious collard greens, kale, and mustard greens. And I also have some cabbage. Even though a lot of people think that collard greens are tough, when they are those winter greens, they're actually very tender. And I'm also going to slice them very thinly, and I'm going to slice my cabbage thinly as well. When I cook my food, I feel like I always love to have that something green on the plate. Not only is it healthy, but really these winter greens are sweet and delicious, and they really don't need a lot to taste really good. I gave some of these to one of my friends and she gobbled it up cold. She said she loved them. All I'm going to do is cook them very simply in a little bit of olive oil and butter. I'm going to add half of a sliced onion and then all of my greens. I really like to season this with either just salt and pepper and crushed red chili flakes, or I will use a little bit of vegeta. Just a pinch, okay? It just brings out the natural flavor in the greens. It's going to take about 8 minutes for them to saute down. As I said, these collard greens are actually quite tender, so it really does not take very much for them to have a great flavor. If you want, you could add a little bit of vinegar, but I'm not going to do that. Guys, let me know how this meal looks. This meal was so delicious. I like to plate up my greens with my delicious juicy chicken. Baby, got all that flavor. And I took the ultimate bite, y'all. Let me know if you are going to make these recipes. I will see you next time in Kamira's Kitchen. Goodbye and God bless.